Good seeing you, Ronald. Good seeing you as well.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, the first question for you, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Okay. Yes. My name is Jorge Tapies. I'm originally from Venezuela in Latin America. I've been smoking cigars for about maybe 25 years now. Trained as an engineer and worked in the oil business and finance for most of my life. But my true passion is really cigar smoking and the cigar business. I've been a part of the Cigar Journal team for the last 12 years, which has allowed me to visit most fantastic places in the world and smoke with great friends, just like Ronald here today.
The second question, Jorge, you say you smoked for over 25 years.
Correct.
When did you get your first cigar? And why will you fall in love with this cigar and smoke for 25 years?
Sure. Yeah, actually, my father-in-law, when my daughter was born close to 25 years ago, she's 24 now, I had the opportunity to share my first cigar with him. I still remember it was a little-known Nicaraguan brand that I believe is still around. What I found attractive about smoking cigars, it was not only the flavor and the aromas, which I truly enjoyed, but it was the opportunity to sit down with, in this case, it was my father-in-law, the first person that I really enjoyed it with. But it's the ability to take 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour of your day and sit down with somebody and have a great conversation, exchange ideas, exchange experiences. And it became a great bonding experience for me. And then from there on, I started learning, collecting, and like I said before, getting involved with Cigar Journal. And I've been lucky enough that it became a great passion of mine. And again, it has allowed me to smoke great cigars and meet very interesting people.
Yes, for this 25 years of smoking, very long time, right? Do you have some impressive stories or impressive experience you want to tell us or share with us?
Sure. Listen, I think as a cigar smoker, and I think a lot of people will relate to this, I think as a cigar aficionado, the first opportunity you get to visit a tobacco plantation or a cigar factory, I believe is something that changes your perspective, changes your view in this beautiful passion that we all share. In my case, I've been fortunate enough to visit Cuba, Dominican, and Nicaragua, and I can say that once you've seen that little seed or the plant, and then you see that the plant grow, you see the entire process from seed to aging, I think it changes the way you enjoy the cigar 100%. In my case, being in Nicaragua, one of the most lovely experiences we shared a few years back was visiting the Padron factory with Don Jose Orlando Padron before he sadly passed away, and his son Jorge, where they gave us a tour of their cigar factory and plantation, which it's a beautiful family-owned business. Also, another factory I think worth mentioning in Nicaragua is Nick Perdomo and his amazing team. And also, of course, we have to mention Cuba, right? The birthplace of cigars, which I've had the opportunity to visit multiple times. And the contrast between Cuba and the Dominican and Nicaragua, I think, also gives the average cigar smoker an ability to really understand the difference between a Cuban cigar and what we now call New World cigars. So for any smokers out there in the world, I would encourage every single one of them to take a week of their time and go visit Cuba, Dominican, Nicaragua, all three if you can, because it will change the way you smoke cigars.
I totally agree with you because I've been to Nicaragua, Dominican Republic. This will change your sight on the cigar industry. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's something, like I said, as a cigar smoker, it's an experience. I almost would call it like a pilgrimage. It's something that I think every cigar smoker should just put on the calendar for some time in their lifetime.
Okay, everybody asks me, what's the perfect drinks to pair with a cigar? What do you think?
Listen, that's a very good question, and I think it's a question that probably deserves a very long answer. Number one, I think it's a very personal choice that anybody would decide what to pair a fantastic cigar with. In my own opinion, that I would like to share, I believe rum and cigars are a match made in heaven. Sugarcane and tobacco are two plants that originated or came out of Cuba, and Cuba is sort of the mother of those two. And they were born together and they were consumed together. So I I love the flavor of rum, and I think rum and cigars to me have a great sentimental value when enjoyed together. But besides rum, I believe port, which is a fortified wine, also matches extremely well with a cigar. I believe whiskeys as well, as you could probably attest as well. I'm a big fan of PT smoky whiskeys, which I love the way they go with cigars. But again, Ronald, at the end of the day, it's a matter of personal taste. A good cigar with a espresso in the morning, with tea, it's something very common here in Hong Kong as well, champagne. So I think it's whatever makes you happy. And somebody asked me once, what is the perfect pairing? And I always said, the one in my hand right now. What I'm drinking, what I'm smoking, and who I'm smoking with. And to me, if you have those three, you will have a fantastic experience.
Friends comes first.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Pairing with a good drink is good, but of course, friends and company
Exactly.
is the most important thing to pair with a cigar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, as a contributor for Cigar Journal magazine, what feature or what elements do you think is the most important for a cigar magazine?
Listen, I think, the world there's many cigar publications that are published from Europe, US, Latin America, Asia that are great. The few things that I love about Cigar Journal, obviously as a part of the team, is that it's a magazine that it's 165 pages of content, that it's 100% cigar related for the true fan, for the true, what I would call the professional smoker, right? It's somebody that will read the magazine from beginning to end. The one thing I'm proud of our magazine is that we don't cover watches, yachts, airplanes, sports cars. We cover 100% cigars and anything that's associated with the pleasures of cigar smoking. In our magazine, not only you will see our blind tastings, which are a feature of our publication, but also you will find great information on storing cigars, aging cigars, how to build your own humidor, how to maintain your humidor. There's a lot of information on pairings as well, which is relevant. Information on cigar lounges, interviews with every cigar maker, manufacturer in the world. And it's the magazine that like you said, Ronald, the professional smoker will want to devour from beginning to end. The other important feature is that we're published in 4 languages. Originally in German, English, Spanish, and now in Putonghua, which is pretty much, we're probably the only global cigar magazine today.
I would say just you've got some Chinese version of, just released, right? Chinese
Correct.
version of Cigar Journal.
Correct.
Digitally.
Digital, correct.
Okay. But so, in the future, what kind of content will you bring to our Asian or Chinese cigar lovers?
Great. Yeah, that's a very good question. And in my experience in Hong Kong here for the last couple of years and in Asia writ large, I think the contribution that we can do is to help bring the amazing world of New World cigars to Asia. I think, in my opinion, traditionally Asia has been monopolized by the Cuban cigar market, which I believe are great cigars as well, but I believe maybe the Asian smoker has been robbed of the experience of enjoying amazing cigars that come from many other different countries. As you can see from our magazine, we are ambassadors for any brand, New World or Cuban, it doesn't matter. We just want to bring lots of information on good cigars to everybody. So in our collaboration with Time Cigar, which I believe are pioneers in bringing New World cigars to Asia and to China, I think what we could bring is lots and lots of content and information that the Asian and Chinese cigar smoker is probably needing and starving for information that has been very limited in the last few years. So if you want to learn about New World cigars, Cigar Journal is the place to go, and Time Cigar is the place to find them.
So some cigar lovers, they believe in food pairing with cigar. Mm-hmm. They've got a deep relationship. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Listen, like we were chatting before, it's at the end of the day, it's an ultimate personal decision for the cigar smoker. I personally, like we've talked before, it's maybe not necessarily the easiest thing to have a meal with a cigar. I do love eating, and so what I do like to say is that to me, a good cigar, it's probably the best way to end a very good meal. And whether you had a big steak finished with a strong cigar, or you had a summer meal of fish, finished with a mild to medium cigar, that's not necessarily a pairing, but it's complementary to it, right? Plenty of people enjoy cigars with maybe chocolate or cheese, caviar. There's some combinations, but again, at the end of the day, I believe it's ultimately a personal decision.
So in your own opinion, do you think cigar is a bridge to communicate with the Western or Eastern side together that can have how do I say, the communication? It's doing a bridge yes. between the Western and the Westerns.
Absolutely. Listen, I think what you say it's so true that I can't think of anything else that would bring people together and bring down any language, racial, socioeconomic barriers like a good cigar. And like you and I met, you were from here, I'm from Latin America, we met in Vegas, and this is what happened after, right? In my opportunity to travel the world, I've always sought opportunities to visit a cigar lounge and end up having great conversations with anybody sitting next to you. I think cigars are also a great equalizer. One of the beauties of cigar smoking is that you could be in a room and you could have the CEO of a company sitting next to a fireman or a police officer or a school teacher or a scientist, and it doesn't matter. They're all sitting smoking a cigar.
What people are you?
Exactly.
Which country are you come from? But we got the same topics to talk about.
Yeah.
What we love the cigars.
Exactly, and it's like I said, it's a great equalizer. It brings down barriers, and to be honest, something interesting about you say about communication. Sometimes the beauty of cigars too, which I've also experienced, is you'd be surprised how easy it is to sit with a cigar with somebody, and maybe we're both smoking, and maybe 20 minutes go by and neither of us says a word, but we're just enjoying each other's company and enjoying a good cigar. And that it's also a form of communication. We're at peace and enjoying, so we don't necessarily have to communicate, even if we don't speak the same language. Exactly. We can just communicate by just sitting next to each other, having a good cigar. And I think that's beautiful.
Cigar brings people together. That's why we are always talking about it.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you are bringing Cigar Journal from typical print magazine to a digital version. What's the challenge? How do you contain your high quality content?
Right. Listen, that's a very good question, and that's something that we as a publisher of Cigar Journal have struggled for the last few years to try to bring the content of our magazine into the digital world, streaming media, etc. And it's challenging, right? As we've spoken, our generation was used to these. Newer generations are used to information being delivered straight to their phones or iPads. So we're trying to find a way to bring the information that we provide in our magazine to our digital subscribers, which is, I believe, very important. Now, the challenge is that just like us, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of content providers and content generators that are putting content every day, hours and hours of online content on cigars. So my advice to anybody consuming that content is to, like I would do to anybody else, is do your homework. Make sure that your sources are reputable and that you are getting accurate, reliable and unbiased information on cigars, which is what we aim to do with our magazine, right? Because like we discussed, there's lots of content, and some of it may be professional, some of them are not, right? And
many of them are not. Maybe smoke 1 year, they've got only maybe 1 year smoking experience. They are the professional on the internet.
Exactly, and that's again the only thing we can do as an established magazine with 25 years of experience is we just keep putting the best content that we can, the best interviews, the best articles. And we keep partnering with the best companies that can help us reach those customers. And if we do that, then our readers and our consumers will find it useful and attractive.
Yes, professional is the most important thing for you guys to see, to watch, or to being educated.
Yes. 100% agree. Yeah.
So do you have any professional advice for cigar beginners?
Yes, actually, and probably a very simple one. Don't have any preconceptions and try new things. Don't get sucked into a country, a brand, a size, a color, an advertising that you like. Just experience and try as many things as you can, possibly even at the same time. Get 3-4 cigars from different countries, different blends, and try them all together. That to me is the only way for you to truly appreciate the diversity of this, the beautiful world of cigars. So again, for any new cigar smoker, just don't be afraid of trying new things. Don't be afraid of asking for advice when you go to whether you go to a tobacconist or you go to any vendors. Ask what your preferences are. Ask questions. Ask, where is this wrapper from? Where is the filler from? And the more you study, the more you get yourself educated, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to enjoy them. But really the only advice is that just don't close the aperture. Just keep it as open as you can.
Another thing I think is important to communicate with some experienced and professional smokers like you, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And again, the more content, be ready to be a sponge to absorb. And again, and don't say no to a good cigar.
Yes, the last question I had already, I remember I asked you before that. If today you cast to an island, or if today is the end of the world, you can only pick one cigar to smoke. What cigar will you pick and why?
Listen, that's a tough question. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope not. But if Padron it's a brand that it's always been close to my heart. I think that Padron Family Reserve will probably be one of those last cigars that I would choose to smoke. But then again, listen, I've been able to enjoy the Vega Fina 1998, and you just gifted me this beautiful special edition, Edición Especial, and I have an Ometepe as well that you gave me that I would love to try. So maybe you can change my mind.
And last but not least, can you say hello to our Chinese cigar lovers and ask them to get your Chinese version of digital Cigar Journal? Yeah.
Hello, Chinese smokers. I hope to meet some of you, if not all of you, soon. Please take a look at Cigar Journal digital in Chinese. I think you're going to find the content fantastic. Also take a look at Time Cigar, your best provider of New World cigars for China. They have amazing products. We're good friends, we collaborate, and I cannot wait to see what we can do together in 2023 and 2024 to make sure you guys in China can have access to the best information and the best cigars from Time Cigar.